Hello and welcome everyone to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today I have got a game between LiquidZenio and a player called Apocalypse. Now Apocalypse is the red Terran player in the bottom right and Zenio is the blue Zerg in the top left. This is from Zenio's Razer replay pack of the week, which was released today, which is, oh my god, it's the 26th of April? Yeah, something like that. It's around that time. Just look when I uploaded the video. Anyway, the map, of course, is Entombed Valley. So what's going on here? Well, you've got these rocks blocking the way to your third. You've got quite an easy to take natural, but again, it's difficult to wall off this natural for anyone really. Protoss, they can either wall it this way and leave their main, but it's just, yeah. Anyway, so that shouldn't matter because it is, of course, a ZvT. Now, I'm going to probably mass cast these games. I'm just going to cast as many as I can before I eventually run out of oomph and basically upload them all, and people can have an awesome time watching a shed loads of awesome games. So I do hope you enjoy. I'll probably release a couple later on in the week as well, so do check those out. Now, what is Apocalypse going for? Well, he's getting barracks. That's pretty normal. Almost certainly going to see Zenio go for a 15 hatch pool build because, well, it's a Terran player, that's what you do. The map is cross positions. I think I mentioned this already, it's on the Korean ladder. So, really the top of the top ladder. Everything should be awesome. Now, here we go. Enough money up there, so Zenio, he's going to be going for that hatch first. There we go. So, as sort of predicted now, really it's when he goes for that pool, it will probably be at 16. Just that's the standard build order. Meanwhile, Apocalypse, still no sign of gas, just finishing up that barracks, so wouldn't expect it yet anyway. Really, what can Apocalypse do? Well, he could do anything from marine pressure, a bunker, Hellions, reactor Hellions, that is. He could even do something like a Reaper. Again, he could also go for a one-racks command center build. There's lots of options available to him. The fact there hasn't been any super early gas or double gas probably shies away from the idea of there being any kind of cloak banshee rush or something like that. There's Zenio's pull down, so that went down about 16, so everything fairly standard here. And here we go, we will see Apocalypse has got enough money, command center's going down, so it's a one-racks CC build, which again is really nice. I like it, because the reason I think it's so good is purely because every Zerg player is going to go for a hatch first build against Terran. You can get away with getting this command center. If it all goes pear-shaped, just lift it. There's nothing a Zerg can do about that for a while. Only downside is you have to put some kind of pressure on, and I mean here what's nice is these Marines moving out already, just going to probably go and take the watchtower, may move forward and try and pester, but again, if you are a Terran player watching this, make sure you harass a Zerg player early on. Here goes 2 gases from Apocalypse. Now the reason you try and do some damage to a Zerg early on or just irritate them is to force them to make units as opposed to drones, because otherwise they drone and then they win. So never want that happening. Apocalypse though, he's going for quite a defensive play, putting a bunker down here, and that is needed purely because if there was a lot of pressure coming out of Zenio, he can pull these Marines back, he can basically get in the bunker and be quite happy. Really, we will see one Zergling, I believe it was a Zergling, poke forward. This other Zergling just going to go and scout around, and that's really because Zenio still doesn't know exactly where Apocalypse is. Now, we will see a spine crawler going down here for Zenio. That is a pretty standard reaction, if I'm honest, just purely because he's going to expect there to be some kind of heli in play or some pressure, especially because these Marines are up at the watchtower. So he's also pulled 2 queens down. He's got 2 more queens in production. If we look at the worker count, 21 to 25, so again, that's not huge. That Zergling will get picked off by the bunker. Now, that bunker being there is a huge tell to Zenio that, to be honest, there's probably not going to be a huge amount of pressure. So these queens just start moving forward, spreading the creep and moving it on up. Here we go, reactor and the factory. So reactor Hellions on the way. A double engineering bay as well. So probably going to be going into double upgrades super quick, and why not, because Marines when they get upgraded are awesome. There goes a Roach Warren and Extract. Now the Roach one, Zenio is clearly quite concerned about reactor Hellions or something like that coming at him. Otherwise, really that Roach one, that's all it's for, is protecting you against Hellions. They don't do too well against Marines, definitely do awful against Marauders and tanks. So Roaches aren't great in a ZvT. They're okay if the Terran player is going mech, but without many tanks. So that's sort of some options. There goes the 1-1 infantry upgrades for Apocalypse. Meanwhile, Zenio, he's getting a macro hatch. Now, the reason he's getting this macro hatch as opposed to a third is purely because these rocks, the second entrance, mean getting a third and holding it can be a nightmare, especially with Hellions there. But to be honest, these Hellions are going to do nothing. The two that are just coming into vision now, because, well, there's a spine, there's two queens, there's great creep spread. Nothing's going down, and quick reactions by Zenio there. One creep tumor did get picked off, but the other two very, very quickly cancelled. Now, 2 more Hellions joining it, and 2 more on the way, so 6 Hellions, and really that's implying that Apocalypse wants to do some damage with that, because really you only need 2 Hellions for the map control. 4 definitely covers you map control wise, but I mean, Zenio's responding to this perfectly. I mean, he's got quite a few roaches out, and roaches are stupidly good against Hellions, so that's going to be a bit of a problem for Apocalypse here. Meanwhile, behind this, he's getting up some Marauders, so to be honest, Hellion Marauder is insanely good because, well, they counter whatever counters the other one. So, I mean, Roaches counter Hellions, but Marauders counter Roaches, and, well, Zerglings counter Marauders, but Hellions counter Zerglings. So that's all pretty good. Now, here we go, a bit of aggression coming in, and to be honest, with the 2 bunkers with Marauders there's going to be no problem, but obviously that has allowed Zenio to scout out that that is on the way. Now, there's also an armory coming out here for somewhere there was. I wasn't imagining it. There we go, an armory on the way, so some vehicle upgrades probably coming out. There goes the 3rd base for Zenio. There is this 3rd command center coming out for Apocalypse. He's getting 2 more barracks onto this, so this is going to be a really infantry heavy army. 1-1 is done for that infantry. So that's going to be quite potent. Meanwhile, the double Evo chamber only just coming out for Zenio now, getting a Baning Nest as well. Zergling speed on the way, got Lair done, got Roach speed coming out, and he's just clearing out these rocks, and that's exactly what he needs to be doing. Meanwhile, down at Zenio's base, well, he is only now just getting his 3rd and 4th gas, moving that factory off the reactor, getting a starport on it, so that's just to get the medevacs out ASAP. Probably going to get a tech lab on that factory there, but it would insinuate there's going to be quite kind of bio heavy. We will see this overseer is going to spot everything, but will it get picked off? Well, those marines stim to get it, so yep, that's going to die, and that's an annoying loss for Zenio, but not too bad. And holy Hellions, that's a lot in the middle there. So to be honest, that's even going to scare away that many roaches. So again, Apocalypse, he's got good position there. He's got a queen at every base, nearly a queen at every base, and we will see these roaches moving forward. But here comes the Marauders and quite a few Marines, and this is a really potent army. 2 upgrades on the way out, and look at those roaches melt. Concussive shell is not done, so they will be able to get away on creep, but not before a couple go down. The stim did go off. There are no medevacs in production yet. I don't think there's even any on the field, no, so there goes the first 2 medevacs. Obviously they'll make this a lot more effective. The Banelings, if they connect with those Hellions, will be great, because obviously Hellions are light and Banelings do bonus damage against light, so that can melt it. That queen's going to go down. The creep tumors, well, both get sniped off, and this is just great control by Apocalypse, and Zenio doing exactly what he should be. Don't overcommit, don't lose those Zerglings to the Hellions. He is going to actually try and get a little surround on those Marauders, but lines up those Zerglings and they go down. But again, Zenio just being very, very safe, pulling back. But here comes the Banelings, they're rolling in, but they're stuck behind the roaches at the moment. Those Hellions should be absolutely fine, and look at that. Wow, that was a lot of Zerglings finally get taken out there by a ball of Hellions. Now, to be honest, well, there's a lot that could go on here. There's a lot more barracks being added in. The rocks are being taken out. So the 3rd base got up by Apocalypse, again on equal basis with Zenio for the moment. But there goes down the 4th base for Zenio, and he's transferring a lot of SCVs down there, Apocalypse. So he's in a good spot. And look at all these barracks coming in. So this is an insanely marine heavy build. He's got 2-2 just about to finish, and that is against the 1-1 of Zenio. Zenio hasn't even started 2-2. He's got the infestation pit up there, and he's getting pathogen glands. It's half done. He's getting a spire out, he's getting hive out, so really he's transitioning into infested brood, and a lot of Hellions are going to go down here. That is not a nice spot for Apocalypse. He's lost that middle watchtower, wants to be really careful. If another Baning hits, that would be a huge loss. Those couple of roaches just allowing him to clean that up very, very nicely. And we will see here a 4th command center coming out for Apocalypse, so both players really expanding really well. So This is certainly looking like it could go on to an awesome later game. The Spire about to finish up, Hive is done, so you can go straight away into the Great Spire. But here we go, Ultralisk Cavern coming down. Obviously Pathogen Glands is finished. There are no Infestors on the field yet, but they'll be coming out soon. And we're going to have a big engagement here. And really, I do believe that Apocalypse has got enough to clean this up. He's just got to be careful not to get any Baning hits off on him. So that's going to be tough, but obviously there are the medevacs to heal up those Marauders. As long as the Banings go off on the Marauders, he will be fine. But again, it's just forcing Zenio back for the moment, and still no sign of a greater Spire. The Ultralisk Cavern is on the way out though, so Ultras, very, very good if you get Fungal Growth to deal, to pin everything down, and big Baning hit goes off there, and still this is some very, very good control by both players, not overcommitting. 3-3 infantry upgrades on the way out there for Apocalypse. He is also getting out the +1 vehicle weapons. 2-2 is about 2/3 done there for Zenio. He's also got the Ultralisk armor upgrade. He's got 4 Ultras on the way. The one thing I would really, really like to see Zenio do is get some Infestors out, because obviously Ultras, they can be kited. If there's a fungal growth to go down, it obviously stops that infantry of Apocalypse running away and allows those Ultras to nom their way through. We will see the 4th base for Zenio is up and running. He's got some spines coming down on it just for the drop defense. Meanwhile though, the 4th base for Apocalypse just landing now. So again, staying on equal bases with Zenio, which is very, very good. It just means he's going to be in this game very, very solidly. A lot of Zerg players consider that if you're on equal bases with a Terran or Protoss, you're actually slightly behind. Which would be a fair comment to make, because Zerg armies don't trade too cost effectively. And actually it's looking like Zenio could be at risk of losing this base, but here comes the Ultras. They're marching in. I don't believe Siege Mode is done with that tank, but here we go, a bit of engagement here, and this is exactly what I was saying, that really those Ultras can't catch up to get the engagement. Wants to be really careful, the Apocalypse here, of the Baning, because if they go out, that could be huge. A couple of big Baning hits go off, and the spreading isn't great there by Apocalypse, and he's losing a lot of army. And really Zenio, if he keeps this momentum up, he's going to just be able to go and overrun Apocalypse here. What's he reinforcing with? Well, Corruptors, he's got the Greater Spire on the way, he's got the 3-3 upgrades. Now we will see these Marauders can kite Ultralisk for just such a long time. Zenio's taking his 5th base behind this, which is ideal, and 1 Ultra down and a great lift there, nothing that can deal with that. Meanwhile, we will see that Greater Spire, well, it's 2/3 done. The Planetary Fortress of the 4th, that's a good move there by Apocalypse, and really he's got 3-3 about to finish up for his infantry. Adrenal Glands coming out for Zenio. He's also got 3-3 of his own just started. Obviously the Ultralisk armor upgrade is finished, but a good transition into Broodlord. Really, the only thing that's missing from Zenio's army is Infestors. I'm surprised he hasn't, because against Marines, Infestors are great. It keeps them clumped up, allows Banelings to get good connects. It also allows the Ultras to catch up. That Overlord is probably going to go down. A couple of Banelings morphing in, but will they get sniped off? Yes, they will. And that is a bit of a pain for Zenio, because that means he's not going to have Banelings to deal with this, but he does have that Greater Spire. There are 6 Broodlords in production. Where are they exactly? I'm not quite sure, but this 5th base for Zenio is gone. It is out of there. Now, where are these Broodlords? They're morphing in, but can I see them? No. Ah, here they are. They're hidden off on the low ground. Great spot, because this means that if they were just fractionally earlier, they could have come up to harass that army and would be completely safe from the high ground. And, well, Zenio's retaking a 5th up here, but he's again on equal basis with Apocalypse. If we look at the income tab, well, it's clearly there that Apocalypse is slightly ahead in the mineral count, but a bit behind in gas. But look here, this is a big, big push coming in, and even Terran building armor coming out for Apocalypse. So that's something you don't see every day, but Zenio's lost his 4th base now, and that is a huge, huge loss. It basically puts him a base behind. Apocalypse has a really scary army here, because he's got the 3-3 infantry upgrades, +1 vehicle attack, +2 vehicle attack on the way. But obviously, as this Broodlord number gets higher, he's going to be in a better and better standing. But this is a head-on engagement here for Zenio. He gets a couple of big Baning hits, but there's just too many Marines. Marines are so good at 3-3, and with that many medevacs supporting, he's in a great spot. And to be honest, Zenio's lost a lot of his army there. Meanwhile, we will see Apocalypse is reinforcing very, very nicely. He's got those Thors in the back, wants to be careful not to lose the medevacs, and likewise Zenio wants to be careful not to lose the Corruptors as Stim moves forward. And to be honest, if Apocalypse goes for this now before the Banelings come out, he have a chance, but here comes the Baneling, wants to be really careful, needs to split them, putting all of his Marines back behind the Thors, which is a great move. The Banelings were on A moves, so just get melted on the Thors. And this is just such an insane engagement here. I still think Zenio's in it, but obviously look at the supply difference. He's just got such a tough time. If these broodloads go down, he's in major problems. And really, this is a relentless push by Apocalypse, who obviously is a base up, and that is exactly where he wants to be. And there's the GG. He's lost the broodlords, so nothing Zenio could do. Wow, that was a crazy and just constant pressure from Apocalypse. If you did enjoy the game, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube, follow me on Twitter, which should be on screen now, and all of that fun shenanigans. Leave any comments, criticisms, compliments as well if you've got any. That'd be awesome. Thank you very much for watching, and tune in again.